it's Samantha. So today I'm coming to you with a video which is kind of like a TBR in a way, but basically I hate TBRs and I don't stick to them. But basically last summer I made a video called the top 5 books I want to read this summer. And basically I just set out 5 books that I really wanted to get to over the 3-month summer period to try and get me to read them sooner rather than later, because I can't tell you how long some of these books have been sitting on my shelf. This is not like an anticipated releases video because I've already posted one for spring, so if you want to check that out I will put it in the card and I'll also link it down below for you. But yes, this is not an anticipated releases video. This is just 5 books that I really want to get to over the next 3 months. So it's kind of like a TBR in a way, but also a bit different. So the first book on my list is one that I did actually mention in my most anticipated releases video, and that is Clean by Juno Dawson. This book follows this girl called Lexi who's just had a drug overdose. Therefore she's forced to go into a rehab facility, and there she meets this boy, and I think a romance sparks up between them, but I imagine it's going to be kind of a more harmful relationship, which isn't the most healthy thing in the world. So I think it's going to be a really interesting read and completely different to anything I've ever read, so I'm really excited to read it. Also, Juno Dawson is a UK YA author, and I read a lot of American books, and I am actually based in the UK and I would love to be able to work with UK authors, so I definitely need to read some more UK YA. The next book on my list was one of my most anticipated releases for the fall, and that was There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. This book has been on my to read shelf on Goodreads for 4 years since I read Anna and the French Kiss, and I had an arc of it and I didn't get to it, and I'm like, why haven't I read that book yet? I am so excited to read this book, and yet. It's because I know that it will probably keep me up at night, because it's probably gonna scare me because I'm a massive wimp. I still really want to read it. It is a YA thriller slasher book about this girl. I think she's just moved to this town, and basically all of a sudden all these gruesome murders start to happen. I think it's gonna be a fun, fast-paced book which I'm really gonna enjoy, but it's also gonna terrify me. I will get to this really soon. The next book on my list is another one that I mentioned in my anticipated releases video, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm really sorry if I said that name wrong. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that last name, but this book sounds like Throne of Glass but in a West African setting, so I think this book is going to be so good. It's in a world where magic has been outlawed and anyone who had magical powers was killed, and it follows this girl called Zelie whose mother was a magi, which is the name for the magical people in this land, and her mother was a magi and was murdered, and now she wants to get revenge on the monarchy for doing this. She's also struggling with developing new powers, and it just sounds like it's going to be such an interesting fantasy book, and oh my god, I love fantasy. I'm excited to see the West African setting. It's just gonna be great. The next book on my list is one that I already own, and that is Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. This book came out last year, I think. I just really want to finish off this series because it is a duology, and I'm really trying to finish off some of my series this year because I looked at all of my unfinished series and there are a lot of them. And this is a duology, so I literally just have to read this book and then I'm done with that series, and I can add it to my finished series list. So hopefully I can get to it sometime over this spring, because I just really want to finish off this series and I really want to read more of Alexandra Bracken's books. I really need to read The Darkest Book. The 5th and final book on my list is another one that's going to finish off a series for me, and that is Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. First of all, can we appreciate the UK hardcover? It is beautiful. But I read the first 2 books in this trilogy last year. I really enjoyed them. Definitely not my favorite books in the entire world, but I did really enjoy them. So I really just want to finish this off before I forget everything that happens in this series. So those are the 5 books that I want to read this spring. I really hope I can do it, because last summer, as I said, I made a video similar to this and I only managed to read 2 of the books on that list. So hopefully I can get to all of these. Anyway, that is going to be all for today's video, so I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye!